Assalamu alaikum. Last time we talked about the movements when they are used to indicate the state of a word that accepts changes to its end. So these words, some of them use movements, and that's what we talked about last time. This here, you can study this page here as a review, or you can go back to the last video in this playlist. Now here we also discussed this here in the last video, so you can go back to that. Today we continue with the second part that uses letters to indicate the state of that word or that changing state. So here والذي يعرب بالحروف أربعة أنواع. So والذي, the one that يعرب, gets expressed by letters, يعرب بالحروف, gets expressed, or its position gets expressed by letters, are four types. أربعة is four, أنواع types, so are four types. So four types, we learned last time that four types of words use movements to indicate their position in the sentence, and now we have four types that use letters to indicate that position. The first one is تثنية, the dual case تثنية. The second one is جمع المذكر السالم, the sound masculine plural. So this is number two. تثنية here is, this here is number one, and this here is number two. So that's the second type, the sound masculine plural. والأسماء الخمسة, and the five nouns. We discussed these before. This is number three, the third type. والأفعال الخمسة, this is the fourth type, which is the five verbs. So here you can follow these arrows for these five verbs, and here I highlighted with the red color the three pronouns used to form these verbs. So in here, just follow these numbers. For number one, this is تثنية, the dual case. Notice 1a, this is the alif. Now this alif here is used with nouns. This here, تثنية, the dual case, is with nouns. So we will see examples of this now. This is different than here. This here is a pronoun. Notice five verbs. In here, this is the dual with nouns. They use the alif also as an indication of its position. 1b, this is the ya. So you will see the dual, a dual noun, you will see it either with an a or a ya. So the first type is one. You have 1a, 1b, the alif, a, or the ya, e. The sound masculine plural, this number two here, you have the wow as an indication with nouns. Again, now we're talking about nouns. Plural, dual, that's first type. Second type is sound masculine plural. So 2a here, this wow, wa, and the ya. So you will see the sound masculine plural either with the wa or the ya, depending on its position in the sentence. The third type is the five nouns. So here 3a, 3b, and 3c. Now these five nouns, you might see it with the wa, or the a, or the ya. So here you can look at it with these numbers and circles. And the five verbs, these here, this is an example of it. So here, these in blue, the number four here. So you get 4a and 4b. So with the noon, you either see the n, this n here, you either see it, or بحذفها, by omitting it. حذفها, omitting it. That's what this word means. So sometimes you will see it there, and sometimes it will be omitted, this n here, depending on the position of the verb in the sentence. Just remember that these letters have a different meaning with verbs and nouns. So here, notice I highlighted the pronoun. This is the a. This a here is a pronoun to indicate the dual with the verb. The u here is a pronoun for the plural to indicate the subject here with the verb. This ya here is for the second person feminine. This is a pronoun here, this ya. So that's what they mean by the 5 verbs, and I highlighted the pronouns here. But what we are discussing is this an here. So just make sure you understand this. Keeping the an or omitting the an with the verbs. Any verb, you use these 3 pronouns with it, this a, u, or ya. This is how that's how you will see it. But you will see it without this an, depending on its case, and that's what this text is saying. So now we will see more examples of this. So for the first type that uses letters to indicate its position, the dul, muthanna, dul, muthanna. So here, notice you have 2 persons in here. So in this picture, you have 2 persons. So this is dul here. 1, 2 persons, 2 men. Rajul, rajulan, rajulan, 2 men. Now, we will see examples of this here. You see rajul, rajulan. This is the singular, a man. Rajulan, 2 men. Notice now this a here indicates that its position in the sentence. So if I say رجلان في الصورة, 2 men are in the picture, I use this a to indicate that it's the subject. This word, the 2 men, is the subject of the sentence. That's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to indicate that they are in the picture. So they're the subject of the sentence. So it's a noun, and we use this a, rajulan. So that's its mark. Now, if I say I saw 2 men in the picture, I would say رأيت رجلين, رجلين. Notice the change now. Now I have this ya here. So that's the 2 letters that are used as a mark. This letter changes to indicate the position of this noun, the dul. So because now رأيت رجلين is the object of the sentence, because they received the action, I saw them. So they are the object of the sentence. It's this ya here. That's how it's shown in the Arabic. رجلان رجلين. So I saw رجلين and رجلان في الصورة. 2 men are in the picture. رأيت رجلين في الصورة. I saw 2 men in the picture. رأيت رجلين. So that's what they mean by using the letter to indicate the position or i'rab. So that's the first one, the dul. So notice here, this is a type of dul. So notice here, this is the singular. Dar, which means a house. Usfur, which means a small bird. Safina, which means ship. Notice here, safinatan, usfuran, daran. Notice this a, this a, this a. You will see it like this, or you will see it like رجلين here. Changes depending on its position. دارين, عصفورين, سفينتين, سفينتين, سفينتين. So notice the change. I use these letters to indicate its position because I'm thinking of the سفينتين as an object or a subject, depending on how I'm building the sentence or what I'm saying. So you can look at these examples here. Here you have the same. This here is a tree, شجرة, شجرتان. وردة, a rose. This is a tree. وردة is a rose. وردتان, 2 roses. So that's for the dul. Now for the second one, which is the masculine plural, notice here this is the types of plural, أنواع الجمع. Here is the singular, a person, 1 person. Here you have the men, teachers. So sound masculine plural, and it's usually an adjective describing of a group of men or boys. This is معلم, this is معلمون, and the sound feminine plural is معلمات. Now here, this is the the sound masculine plural with the U here. Notice معلم is singular, معلمون is plural, teachers, men. So this U here. Now, as just like the dual, you will see it as معلمين. So you either see it with the U or with the ya. So معلمين or معلمين, معلمون or معلمين. فلاح, a farmer, فلاحون, farmers, meaning men. Now here more adjectives. This is مهندس, an engineer, نشيط, active, صادق, honest. So مهندسون, نشيطون, صادقون, same thing. You will see it with the ya. فلاحين, مهندسين, نشيطين, صادقين. Again, the letter ya and u is used with the masculine, sound masculine plural to indicate its position. This is for a noun. So now we will look at the third one, which is this these 5 nouns. We learned about the 5 nouns: ab, akh, hamu, fu, dhu. So this here is fu, which means mouth. Another word for it is fam. We talked about this before. So now notice here how it changes. جاء أبوك, your father came. سمعت أباك, I've heard your father. مررت بأبيك, I passed by your father. So notice this ya here. When there's a preposition before the word father, ab, it took this ya to show its position. This here, when it's the object of the verb. So abak, I heard your father, abak. Notice it took this there. And when it was the subject, he came. جاء أبوك, your father came. That's the u there, أبوك. Same thing with these. Whenever you use them, when their position changes, you will see them with these different letters there to indicate their position. So you can replace akh here because it works with these verbs that I used. So you can say جاء أخوك, سمعت أخاك, مررت بأخيك. حمو, which is a relative in law, you can say جاء حموك, سمعت حماك, مررت بحميك. So you can use other verbs with the other 2 nouns. So you will see these nouns with these 3 letters, u, a, and ya, depending on their position in the sentence. So this is the third one. Now for the fourth one. Now the fourth one is the 5 verbs. So these are the 5 verbs using these 3 pronouns, a, u, and ya. Again, it's with the present tense verb. So يكتب, يكتبان, they both write. You use this pronoun as a. Notice with the verb, it's a pronoun. With the noun, it's just a letter to indicate its position with the dual. So the dual, the a in the dual noun is just a mark. This a with the verb is a pronoun for the dual, يكتبان. So now here it indicates the third person dual, and you can see it with the second person dual. Here تكتبان, you both write. Or the third person feminine, البنتان تكتبان. So this present tense letter, we talked about how it's used. So this dual here. So these are the one of the 5 verbs. So you have it for the third person, you have it for the second person. So that's 2. Now يكتبون or تكتبون. Notice the present tense ta or ya. For the third person plural masculine, يكتبون. This u, this here now is a pronoun. In the noun, it's with the verb, it's a pronoun. With the noun, it's just a letter to indicate the state, so it changes. So here, just make sure you remember that difference. Again here, with the second person, it's u. For the masculine, so تكتبون, with the second person. So that's another 2. يكتبون, تكتبون. So that's 4. The fifth one is just with the second person feminine تكتبين, this ya here. So notice I said 3 pronouns and they give us 5 forms of the present tense because of the subject change. With the dual, you have the third person, the second person, that's 2 forms. With the masculine plural, third person and second person, that's another 2, that's 4. And the fifth is the second person singular feminine. So notice here I wrote these numbers there. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here notice this is the same thing. تكتبان تكتبان تكتبان. أنتما, you both تكتبان. أنتما. هما تكتبان, both girls are writing. Here أنتما تكتبان for the feminine and the masculine. أنتما تكتبان أنتما تكتبان. That's second person. Notice it's the same for the second person. هما تكتبان for the third person feminine. Both the 2 girls write. تكتبان. So it's the same verb. So just be aware of this. When we say 5 verbs, you have these variation, but it's the same form. It's counted as one form. So that's why I wrote here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With تكتبان, context will indicate the subject. So here, these 3 letters are pronouns with the verbs. With the nouns, you will only see this a and this ya. And the ya is not like here with the verbs, indicating a second person feminine. It indicates the different case for a dual with a noun. So if you start to think about this, you come across these questions, just know there is a difference, and with practice you'll start to notice that difference. So this is the 4th type that uses letters to indicate its position. Next time, inshallah, we continue with the verbs. We start the discussion of verbs in the Arabic language. Thank you for listening. See you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.